Hello everybody, and welcome back to Pokemon White. In the last part, we went through the Straiton Gym, and of course defeated Skyla, and we've now got Gym Badge number 6. And now it's time for heading us off to the next location, our next location in the game called Twist Mountain. But however, before we get to exploring the mountain, yep, Cheren shows up again. Ditto. Yeah, that is our name. Don't wear it down. Since we both hold the gym badge now, let's see which one of us is stronger. Yep, and as per usual, we're now going to battle Cheren once more. All right, now his team has gone a bit more, let's just say, more evolved since our last battle. So as you can see, yeah, now his Tranquil is now in a pheasant, and it has the moves Roost, Detect, Taunt, and also Air Slash. And also this time around, now his pheasant is now holding the scope lens item. So yeah, now a pheasant can definitely really get some really good use out of that. I really did get some good use out of that that item. Now as for his starter Pokemon, now for his Pignite, he would have Smog Rollout, Take Down, and Heat Crash. Then with his Servine, he would have Leech Seed, Mega Drain, Slam, and Leaf Blade. And then as for his Duat, he would have a Fury Cutter, Water Pulse, Revenge, and Aqua Jet. Now the major difference this time with no matter of the starter choice, all of them would be holding his starter Pokemon will now be holding a leftovers item. So of course that means that their HP will regenerate. Over time. And then as for his elemental monkey, which now all of them no matter on the monkey that he has, all of them will now have evolved as well. And all of them will have Leer, Lick, and Fury Swipes. It's that, of course, Semi-Seer will have Flame Burst, Semi-Poor will have Scald, and his Semi-Sage would have Seed Bomb. And he would still be, and all three monkeys would still be holding on to their, now all of it would still be holding on to their fire with their elemental power that they had with them before. Yeah, that being Semi-Sage with the Charcoal, Semi-Sage with the Miracle Seed, and Semi-Poor with the Mystic Water. And lastly for his Lightbird now. Now he has Torment, Fake Out, Hone Claws, and Assurance. And also now his Lightbird is now the one who's now holding on to the Citrus Berry now. So yeah, as you can probably tell, yeah, Cheren definitely made some upgrades to his team ever since our last battle with him. Yeah, and he's obviously gonna get a lot more improved with the more battles that we're actually going to have with this guy. Yeah. But anyways, if you already know how to handle this Pokemon, then this really shouldn't be too much trouble anyway. But anyways, Cheren defeated again. That was a fine Pokemon battle. I'm happy to see you are both growing as trainers. Yep, guess who's also showed up again? Yep, here he is, Alder, again. Hey, if it isn't the champion Alder, I'm a weak, so I lost. And honestly, it bothers me when you call it a fine battle, despite that. Yeah. Honestly, Cheren, just accept the compliment without a stinging remark. I've asked you this before, but what do you plan to do after becoming strong? Hey, if I get strong and become a champion, that will be the reason for my existence. Yeah, he really is straightforward. I want to prove that I'm really living. You remind me of Marshall. Of course, having something you want to become is important. But what is even more important is what you do with your newfound power. Anyway, take this. And guess what? He's now gonna give us the HM Surf, which you could probably know what this means. Yep, and of course, if we use Surf, we can now travel over water. I shall see you again, young trainers. Don't forget about the needs of the Pokemon at your side. We probably won't. What I do with my power, I don't know the answer yet. First, I want to become a strong trainer, so everyone will acknowledge that power. Ditto. Next time I will win. Yeah, that is if there will be a next time. But anyways, everyone, now that we've got the HM move that can allow us to travel over water, which only means one thing: backtracking time. And of course, the only Pokemon that I have on my team that could utilize Surf, of course, be my only water type. That'd be my Palpitoad. And of course, I'm gonna be replacing Muddy Water with it, cause, well, obviously, since Muddy Water is essentially the more weaker version of Surf, really. So yeah, I was obviously planning on having my Palpitoad with Surf, Palpitoad with Surf anyway. It was just a matter of, it was only just a matter of time for when I actually did get the HM. But anyways, like I said, we're gonna be doing some backtracking again. Yeah, just to see what areas that we could go to now that we have Surf. Which of course means, and since there's actually a plentiful, and I mean a plentiful of things that we can do, slash that we can actually go to. And now that we have Surf, meaning that I'm not going to be going to Twist Mountain for a good while. Yeah, you're probably going to see like a few videos of not me actually going to Twist Mountain for a good while. Yeah. But anyways, everyone, now starting off with our backtracking is actually back in Straiton now, as you can already tell. I am back at Straiton City again. Yeah, just so you can see, one of us that may be around this little body of water that we saw before. Yeah. But anyways, now see if we can get this masculine. There we go. Yeah, I did not need to paralyze it yet. Yeah, I did not paralyze it at all. But anyways, Basculin, the hostile Pokemon. Yeah, basculins are very hostile. Yeah, they are more so like, piranhas, so, yeah, that's why, yeah, as we all know, piranhas can be very hostile, so, but anyways, yeah, apparently despite Surf, yeah, there's nothing over that way. Yeah, I don't get why they even bother to make that when you really don't get to do anything there. But let's see if there's anything over here. But yeah, like I said, this fisherman here. Yeah, I'm so glad you came. I'd like it to give you this. And what exactly is it? It is a big pearl. Alright, I guess that's something, yeah, I guess that's something that we can do, you know, that is obviously something that we can sell. So that, of course, that we can get more money, so that we can buy more stuff. Alright, now, after we're done here, I am now going to be going back to, Route 3. Because, as you see here, yeah, there is this huge body of water here. Yeah, now we're gonna see what is over there. Then after we're done here, then I'm actually gonna go back inside for a Wellspring Cave, since there was also another body of water there that we obviously couldn't get access to before. So yeah, this is honestly essentially what I'm gonna be doing for this whole video, really. Yeah, then I'm gonna save the other stuff. Yeah, the other places that we could get to reserve for later. And unfortunately, I could not get the sign up before I get to face off against that guy. Yeah, I wanted to get that item before face off against this guy, but oh well, users can be choosers, I guess. Yeah, I know that analogy may not make sense, but whatever, I really don't care. But anyways, now as we're just going for this, I guess I should just go over, some Pokemon that I still have yet to go over, since we did encounter a whole bunch of Pokemon within the last few videos. Now, I did go over Golett a bit. Yeah, and obviously Devotion. Then there's, yeah, I did talk briefly also about Mamola. Yeah. But as for Arita, yeah, even though I really haven't utilized, yeah, I like it, but it's obviously not a Pokemon that I would consider having on my team anytime soon. Yeah, and not only that, I barely even use Psychic types. Yeah, there's only a selection of Psychic types that I would use. Yeah, it essentially depends on, you know, what is around and whatnot. Yeah, but anyways, but even if Gothita was on one of those options. Yeah, I probably would still not utilize the Gothita line. Yeah. Now then, as for Pheasant, now I guess something that I should point out is that now for those of you who have seen the anime, for those of you who have watched the anime. Now, well, actually, for those of you who were first watching the Black and White anime, now you may recall that Ash's first unified Pokemon was a P-Dove, and it took until like the episode where Ash gets his Snivy to learn that his P-Dove was a female. Yeah, considering that every one of his other Pokemon kept on getting hit with Snivy's attract move. Yeah, so it really took Ash's P-Dove to actually get to battles get to battles Snivy. Yeah, and then when we got to Ash's battle against Skyla, yeah, that was when Ash's Tranquil she evolved into Pheasant. And it was thanks to that, and it was thanks to his Pheasant that he was able to defeat Skyla Swanna. Yeah, and then as for Swanna, now. Yeah, I do like the design for Swanna. It's just like considering that, we have enough of water, and flying type Pokemon. Yeah, and I rarely even consider utilizing water and flying types all that much. Yeah, obviously, considering that there are 4 times a week to electric type moves anyway, so. Yeah, so that's why I haven't really considered utilizing any water and flying types in my life. Okay, well, as you can see, yeah, now we are back in Wellspring Cave. But first, there is an entrance, and there are some stairs that would take us, downward. But however, that section of the cave is gonna be clouded, and it's actually gonna be clouded in darkness, which is why this is now the time where I'm gonna be teaching one of my Pokemon, Flash, and the Pokemon I'm actually gonna give this to is actually going to be my Semisage. Yeah, this is essentially gonna be Semisage's other a purpose for actually being on my team. Yeah, for not only for cut. But also for lighting up caves that are very dark. So yeah, this is essentially gonna be Semisage's main purpose now. Yeah, and as you can see, yeah, you only have this little like light there, but of course, now when you have Flash, yeah, well, it doesn't flash up the entire. Yeah, it doesn't flash up the. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't line up for the entire screen, but you do get somewhat of good light, so that you'll be able to at least see what's up. What you'll be able to see for at least what's up ahead and whatnot. Oh, here we go. Yeah, finally. Now I'm finally able to get. Now I'm finally gonna be able to get myself my own Drober for once. Yeah, finally, But anyways, I wanted you saw as well. Yeah, now we've also got the TM for Low Sweep. Now Low Sweep is also a move that they introduced for this generation. Now, a Low Sweep is a fighting type move, but after you use it, you may actually you do get the opportunity to lower your opponent's speed with it too. So that could definitely be really helpful. Yeah, for very specifically, if your Pokemon is slow and you obviously want to make sure that you are faster. Yeah, I've definitely seen teams really utilize Low Sweep really well. Yeah, but anyways, as you saw, now I've got my own Drober. And as you can see down here as well, yeah, we're not gonna be finding a bunch of we're not gonna be finding like a few funny time trainers down here. So yeah, let's just say we're gonna be down here for a good while. But anyways, as we go for this battle, I guess I should go over the lower floor for Wellspring Cave. Yeah, it is. Yeah, you essentially find the same. Yeah, you essentially find the same Pokemon that you would find on the upper floor. So there really isn't all that much. So honestly, there really isn't. So yeah, there really isn't all that much for me to say about this. But anyways, the Scraggy is gone. Alright, what is your next one? Oh, here we go! Now here's where we get to one of the two fighting times that you probably could have found a lot more earlier on. Now the Pokemon that you usually find in Pokemon on Black version, Throh. Yeah, as you can see, yeah, Throh really is more of a judo guy. Yeah, that's why he usually uses moves like Circle Throw, Vital Throw. Yeah. Yeah, Throh is really more of a judo guy. Yeah. Now, and if you're not careful, that Throw can definitely, while Throw, and I guess I'll just say another thing about Throw is that, while he may not be fast, but he can be defensive when he actually wants to. Yeah, so yeah, just be on the lookout for that. But now we also get Throw's counterpart, Sawk. Yeah, as you can probably tell by the colors. Yeah, Throw is red and Sawk is blue. Yeah, it's essentially indicating what the first two English Pokemon games were. Yeah, that of course being Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue. Yeah, but anyways, now as you can probably tell from Sawk here, yeah, unlike Throw, he's more fast and he can actually be really. And also another thing is that now Sawk here may actually come with the ability Sturdy. So yeah, you may have to take at least one attack from Sawk. You may have to take at least one attack from Sawk before you can actually defeat him. Yeah, but anyways, now Palpitoad is on level 36, which I believe when we have a Palpitoad up to level 36. Yep, we finally get to witness a Palpitoad evolving now. And Palpitoad is now Seismitoad. Yep, Palpitoad is now a Seismitoad. And as you can see, yeah, now Seismitoad can actually learn some poison moves. But however, I am not going to bother with actually learning Seismitoad any poison moves whatsoever. Because if your Palpitoad had a hydration, when your Palpitoad evolves into Seismitoad, hydration gets changed to an ability called Poison Touch. And what a Poison Touch does is that when you actually utilize physical moves, like say Brick Break or Drain Punch, then Seismitoad actually has a chance. Actually gets a chance to poison the opponents. Yeah, that is essentially the main reason why I wanted my Temple with hydration rather than a Swift Swim, because I can definitely get really good use out of that poison touch. Yeah. Now you definitely see why I definitely wanted my Seismitoad to have a Poison Touch rather than Swift Swim. Yeah, and you may see, however, with a Poison Touch, yeah, it is still random for when it actually does work. So I may not always get Poison Touch off shit immediately. So, yeah, so it is really all, so it's honestly really all a matter of luck to see if I can actually to see if I can actually get the poison touch to actually work and whatnot. Yeah. Okay, now it's gonna be, yeah, as you can see, yeah, now while Sawk may not be as defensive as Throh, but Sawk can also be defensive for when he actually wants to as well. Meaning that if we actually picked up either Sawk or either Sawk or before we had our gym battle against Lenora, then you probably would have had a much more easier time defeating her. Yeah, considering that, yeah, they would be at the level that you would wanted them to be. Yeah, and they would have just a decent enough of moves, so that they would be able to easily defeat the entirety of the Necrene Gym. Yeah. Yeah, if you just so happen to find Throh and Sawk before then congratulations, you just defeated the Necrene Gym very easily. No, but anyways, now, and I think that's all I really have to say for the time being, considering that all, yeah, considering that we are definitely going to be doing a lot of backtracking after we're done here. However, though, I guess I should say this right now. There are some areas that we could not get access to before we got surf. And they are a brand anew. So it's not like that we're gonna be doing backtracking all the time. Yeah, it's just that there will be some places that we aren't gonna be going back to, and we've already seen them before. Yeah. Okay, now for this throw. Yeah, why don't just hit the spark? Let's see. Wow, not that much. Oh god, we're French. Shit. Striker. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, I get the feeling even if I do switch, yeah, you're probably just gonna utilize that revenge again. Oh, Stormthrow. Oh, that's right. You have that move too. Yeah, as you can see, yeah, not only can Throw have moves like Circle Throw and Vital Throw. Yeah, but Throw can also have the move Storm Throw too. Yeah, Throw definitely takes the name Throw. Actually does take its own name for a grain of salt. Cause yeah, he actually takes its name quite well. Yeah, by having a bunch of moves that throw people. But anyways, yeah, my pick nice down too. Yeah, this throw can be a bitch. Alright, since my Cogwatch still has to level 36, I'll use him. And considering that throw is almost out anyway, so it's not really it's honestly not really that much of a big deal if I use my Cogwatch now. Okay, there we go, done and done. And there we go, now Cogwatch's not level 36 now. Alright, nice +3 for HP, and nice +2 for attack. And not shockingly at all, his defense got nothing. Yep, once again, absolutely nothing. Yeah, I would say nice with special defense and speed, as well. And he wants to learn Scary Face, which I'm going to pass on. Yeah, that move can be helpful if the opponent was actually faster than my Krokorok. But since the majority of the Pokemon you're gonna be fighting are for the most part are gonna be slower than your Krokorok, But however, since we are getting to the point where we are going to be seeing more evolved Pokemon now, and much more tougher Pokemon now, meaning that you probably want to utilize that just in case. If you actually want to teach that move to your Pokemon anyway. But as you saw, now we have our Mystic Water, which means we're probably going to get more use of our Seismitoad's water moves at some point. And at the very end of this, we get ourselves an OTM. This time being Focus Blast. And now that's all that's to do. That's all that's to do here. So Kokorok, you stay and get ourselves out. And that's it. Get out of there without even utilizing an escape ropes. But as everyone with that said, that should definitely be all I'm gonna do this part. And so we shall continue surfing for the next part. And so to the next part, I'll see you guys next time.